What's going on, everyone? James Livingston here, back bringing you guys another video, and today we have a historical moment happening. Just a couple minutes ago, about an hour or less ago, we did get the news from President Trump that we did just bomb 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Huge thing going on right now. You know, this is historic in a not necessarily a great way, not in a, I can't really say not in a terrible way. I would say it's not in a good way by any means. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't support any of the bombing to happen anywhere. I would prefer peace across every nation, you know, et cetera, but I know that doesn't always happen, and there's always going to be tensions, you know, across nations, etc. But nonetheless, you know, fundamentally, that is what's happening right now, you know, news-wise right now. Now, let's go ahead, let's hop on into the charts and just kind of analyze and see what can be expected to happen here. I think that the overall consensus with war news, anytime it does happen, is that we will see, you know, some kind of a market gap down, a little bit of fear added into the market. You know, we could see a steep pull down. Now, you know, something to note is that we do have the gap on the daily charts here for SPY QQQ way down here in the 560s to 575. You know, so there is that possibility that that could get targeted here in the coming weeks with this kind of a news. Now, we still do have some levels, some areas to get down through before that can even happen. Mainly, you know, we have this level from back not too long ago. It's 589, 590 area. This was an area that we need to break down through initially, break up through initially to get to the 600s again. But after we break that 590, you know, we're starting to look down here in the low 580s. So on and so forth, until we get down to that gap, you know, basically the entry to the gap, which is about 575, 574, before we have, again, this gap right here, sitting down here in the 560s to 570s. Now, do I anticipate this gap to get filled? No, not necessarily. I don't expect that to just happen, you know, because of this war news, but it is something to understand that this news could be along the lines of, you know, the tariff news. You know, when we have the tariffs coming in, there's going to be a lot of fear coming into the market, a lot of uncertainty, and I anticipate that the markets will have a little bit of a downturn, you know, maybe a lot of a downturn, who knows. But you can see even from the tariffs, when that happened back at the 606s, you know, we had multiple days, multiple weeks pull down of about 30 to 40 points. It's very possible that the same thing can happen here. So just keeping that in mind. You know, at the end of the day, we don't know, obviously, until the market opens, but generally speaking, this is what I'm expecting for the market to do. That's with SPY. We're going to also go over QQQ here real quick. Again, I'm just going over a brief, you know, kind of letting you guys know the news, letting you know what's going on right now as it's happening. We'll be able to find out a little bit more here towards the end of the weekend, which I will make a video then there to kind of cover that as well, and just the overall outlook on the week once we know a little bit more details. But over here on QQQ, we can see that, again, you know, the next possible spot here, about 522, was that area that we need to break before to get the push up initially. I expect that to most likely break down here over the weekend. Next line of defense here, or next area for the support to be, would be around 512. And then after 512, you know, we're looking at roughly 505 to essentially the beginning of the gap on QQQ, which is down here the 490s to the $500 level. You know, so I'm expecting, again, price action to start pulling down. If we look across here again, when tariffs started getting introduced, we can see that price action went from highs of 530s, you know, in a couple of days, literally in 1 week's time, down to the $500 level. So it's very possible to have, you know, a $20 to $30 drop in not much time at all, depending on how much fear kicks in and how much uncertainty kicks in. So, you know, we're heading into unprecedented times. We're heading into an era that I did not expect to happen. I didn't expect escalations to happen like this, and I really hope and I pray for everyone, you know, in those countries, Iran, Israel, etc., you know, the people who are just there for peace, to have peace, and you know, hopefully not have to deal with any crazy retaliations from any party, And I really hope that this does not start to spark into a World War III situation. I really would like the world to avoid another big war like that. But it's interesting times. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to spread any kind of fear like that. I'm just simply stating what I'm seeing at the moment. And again, fingers crossed. I really hope and pray for everyone that we can just have peace at the end of the day. So that's gonna be the end of this video, guys. Very short video, short and sweet. Just want to give a quick update on what is going on, what I'm expecting here out of the market, some big news popping in, and like I said, I will have further videos here later this weekend to kind of go over my overall outlook on the market for the week, give you guys a couple of extra levels, etc. So be on the lookout for that. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you think, what your feelings on all this are. And of course, if you are new, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.